To protect yourself during an armed robbery, you gotta know how to get your gun in the fight and not endanger innocents. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson out of Puerto Rico. Shows us an armed robbery there that's gonna get driven off by an armed victim. It's gonna teach us some important lessons about knowing how to get your firearm into the fight, even from a seated position, about using movement effectively, and about being aware of how innocence in your party can affect your self-defense. These guys are just sitting and enjoying a meal like regular when you could see them look through the doorway because these guys come in pointing guns at them. But the guy that's sitting facing us has a gun of his own and he is going to get it out and be the first one to get shots off and start those guys a running. And thankfully, he is the only one who gets shots on target. The news story, you can check it out on our website, says that the perp here died. Now our armed good guy is going to take appropriate follow-up action, make sure that he is not still in the danger zone, and this one's over just that fast. I want to learn some lessons from this one. First one, situational awareness. You see these guys come in, and whether he announced it, I don't know if he announced a robbery or whatever, but they looked over and they were aware of what's going on around him. Now you got to act. Why do you got to act? Because of what they saw. They see this guy pointing a gun at him. So he's able to get his gun out and on target. Have you practiced drawing your firearm from a seated position? This is something that you spend a lot of your days seated unless you work in a very active environment. And so therefore you got to be able to draw your gun. Secondly, though, I do want to think about his shooting angle here, because when he got his gun out and now he's stepped up and off, look at what's between him and this perp, namely his friend. You got to keep your firearm pointed in a safe direction at all times, even in a gunfight. So now he's back to a seated position as he's trying to get the other guy. And again, shooting from a seated position is something that you got to practice. Not very many people do. So he is driving that gun out in front of him and trying to get shots on target from a very unconventional shooting position. And so these are things that we need to have in training in case they happen to us. Now he's transitioning from one to the next. And what we're going to see here is actually that last shot came inside. Even though he was shot, the armed robber here was able to get a shot off. That's the way these things happen. And finally, he took appropriate follow-up actions. Our good guy did. He got out of the danger zone, got away from where he was first attacked. So then that way he protected himself. I think overall he did a really good job here, kept everybody safe, drove the bad guys off, and covered his asp.